Hey everybody, welcome once again to NoDQ&A video right here on youtube.com/NoDQCW, and as always, NoDQ.com. WWE Elimination Chamber is this Sunday live on pay-per-view. You can check out the coverage at NoDQ.com, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time for the pre-show match. If that's your thing, you like the pre-show. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right down to your questions. The first one today comes from Southside King 3. Hey Aaron, why did it take 10 years for Daniel Bryan to get into WWE? That's just the way it is sometimes, you know. It takes a lot to get your foot in the door, especially if you're not, if you don't have any kind of connections, or you're not related to somebody else in the business. With Daniel Bryan, you know, he wasn't the biggest guy, and that definitely hurt his chances, and you know, he was overlooked. And Daniel Bryan had to continue doing what he loved to do on the indie scene and continue to build his name. And you know, in the early 2000s, you know, WWE's roster, they had a lot of talent. They had a lot of guys there, and it was even harder. You know, coming off the sale of WCW and ECW closing and WWE being the only show in town, WWE picked up all that talent. So it was really difficult for somebody on the indie scene to break through and get an opportunity in WWE. So Daniel Bryan just, you know, had to wait it out. And as the saying goes, the cream eventually rises to the top. And that's what happened with Daniel Bryan. He kept doing his thing, and eventually WWE gave him the opportunity, and he took advantage of it. This one comes from A.E. Pritchard. Hey Aaron, love the show. Thank you for that. After Goldberg left, he said it was because of the show and how it was not PG. Now that WWE is PG, do you think Goldberg will return if the money and the opponent was right? I think it would take a lot of money for Goldberg to even consider going back to WWE. It's not just a money situation with him. He really doesn't like WWE as a company. And I don't think WWE would ever offer him what he would want. I think that WWE was disappointed with Goldberg. You know, they publicly said it before he even left the company. You know, Linda McMahon said that, you know, they weren't, you know, they were disappointed with how Goldberg's run had gone. So I don't think that WWE would be able to offer something that would convince Goldberg to make an appearance in WWE again. And I think Goldberg is somebody who will stick to his guns, but you never know. Bruno Sammartino came back to WWE, and we never thought that would ever happen. So you cannot rule anything out. This one comes from Batman6934. Will Stephanie McMahon return to TV and take over as Raw GM? In my mind, that it would be a good idea. I've been wanting Vicky Guerrero to stop managing these shows for a while now. They could always go that route, but it seems like Stephanie is satisfied behind the scenes and you know, running the company, and you know, she's eventually, her and Triple H are going to take over once Vince is gone. So I mean, she might not feel it's necessary, and Vicky Guerrero gets a lot of heat, and that's why they have her there as the GM, and you know, she's kind of a placeholder when they don't really have a good idea. I think if they eventually replace Vicky Guerrero, that'll be when they have an idea for somebody else who they haven't had in that position as GM before. So, you know, bringing Stephanie McMahon back, you know, just that would be going back to the past, and I think it would be better to bring in somebody who hasn't been GM before and do something different. All right, this one comes from Omanola Gate 9. Is Bobby Lashley coming back? With Brock Lesnar around, they can make an awesome feud. I don't think so. I think that if Bobby Lashley was going to return to WWE, he would have done so by now. You know, it just didn't really work out for him. You know, Bobby Lashley had a good look. You know, he's built like a tank, but when he talked on the mic, you know, he was the least intimidating guy around. And he didn't really get over, I think, as much as WWE was hoping for. You know, he was a decent wrestler, and he had some good matches, but I just think that they expected more out of him, and they really thought he would be the next Brock Lesnar in terms of the star power, but it just didn't work out. And you know, he's been gone for so many years now, and I really do think that if he was going to make a WWE comeback, he would have done it by now. All right, this one comes from the Yes Man DB. Apparently, The Miz seriously botched a stalling suplex on CM Punk in a house show in Missouri, causing Punk to land on his head, almost injuring the guy. This is the second time Miz has almost injured a wrestler badly. Do you think Miz should be punished for his accident? Well, you can't really punish a guy, for accidentally hurting somebody. Accidents happen all the time, and that's just the nature of the wrestling business. Guys are going to get hurt from time to time, and mistakes will be made. The thing about the Miz, it's going to be hard to tell if they really, push him down the card. He's already, in the mid card position right now, and with WrestleMania coming up, the Miz isn't really going to be elevated more than he is right now. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, if he continues to do jobs and after WrestleMania he doesn't get a push, that could be a sign that people are upset about him hurting CM Punk, and it also depends on how badly hurt CM Punk is. If Punk's okay, it appears that he's all right, then I don't think that they'll really follow up on anything. I think they'll just let it go. But yeah, I mean, if CM Punk is hurt more than he's letting people know, then that could affect the Miz. But we'll just have to wait and see on that. This one comes from Grayus94. Do you think we will ever see John Cena versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania? If not, do you think WWE blew the chance of having the biggest and probably most unpredictable match in history? Please answer in video. I really do feel that if WWE doesn't do John Cena versus Undertaker, it's a huge missed opportunity. That's possibly the biggest match you could do, without bringing back somebody like The Rock or Brock Lesnar. The thing about Undertaker, he has the streak, and John Cena has the reputation of being Superman. He never loses. So you put those two guys in a match at WrestleMania, John Cena is just about the most believable guy you can have challenge The Undertaker because he has that Superman reputation. And, people have suggested the idea of them doing a submission match at WrestleMania to make it even more unpredictable. Will Undertaker tap out, or will John Cena tap out, the guy who never taps out? So that there is certainly a huge match there. And it's going to be really sad if WWE isn't able to capitalize on it. And, it might not be entirely their fault. They could have done it in the past, but they had other matches. They had The Rock for last year and probably this year. For WrestleMania 30, a lot of it depends on The Undertaker if he's going to still wrestle. If Undertaker's available for WrestleMania 30, I think John Cena versus The Undertaker would be a no-brainer. That would be a perfect match for the milestone 30th WrestleMania. But, that's a big maybe at this point because we just don't know what The Undertaker's status is going to be. All right, this one comes from Beck4900. Hey Aaron, I'm a big Rock fan, but can you tell me what his entrance was like at the Royal Rumble, and was it really, quote, electrifying? Because on TV it didn't seem like the same as his entrances back in 2000 and 2003. Is it because there's more kids at the shows than adults nowadays? Well, for the Royal Rumble, that really had nothing to do with it. There were a lot of older wrestling fans at the Royal Rumble. There were a lot of adult males there. So I don't think that was the reason. The Rock got a very good reaction. I don't think it was quite as big as I remember back during his peak in the Attitude Era. It's funny because I actually think that Goldust got a bigger reaction than The Rock. I mean, Goldust got this huge pop, and so did Jericho. I think they got bigger pops than The Rock. So it could just be, fans are a bit tired of The Rock's act, and they kind of resent him a little bit. I really don't know. But yeah, it was surprising to me. He did get a very good reaction, but certainly, I was there live. It wasn't an over-the-top reaction, like one of the biggest reactions that I ever heard. Certainly not at that level. All right, this last one today comes from The Practical. Hey Aaron, if John Cena never got injured in late 2012, would the Shield have debuted, and would Ryback have been pushed to the WWE Championship? That's a good question. I don't think that Ryback would have been pushed into the WWE title scene. You know, when John Cena got hurt, they needed a big match for Hell in a Cell, and you know, Ryback was on a roll, so WWE decided to catapult him into the main event. And some would say that that was a mistake, and you know, they kind of backed themselves into a corner, and it kind of ruined Ryback's momentum, losing to CM Punk. But I guess they felt they really had no other choice, and they didn't want to put Randy Orton in there or change things up. So you know, they made their decision, and I don't know if it was the best one. And as far as the Shield goes, it's possible they would have still debuted in that same kind of role. You know, WWE was getting ready to debut those guys, and you know, they could have had the Shield, you know, interfere and take out John Cena, and you know, if it was John Cena versus CM Punk. So I think the Shield was still an idea that they were developing, and but yeah, as far as Ryback goes, yeah, he probably wouldn't have been in the main event. Alright, that'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Don't forget, Elimination Chamber this Sunday. NoDQ.com is your place to go for pay-per-view coverage and all the latest news and rumors. And I'll see you next time for more NoDQ&A video. Thanks for watching.